Hurricane Erin is getting bigger. Matter of fact, it's about to get really enormous, everybody. And it is showing that it is going to intensify as we go through the evening for this evening and over the next 24 hours, maybe 36 hours. Now let's get into the forecast of what's going to happen with Hurricane Erin, plus the next two waves come along. I'm still showing that my forecast from this morning still holds true in all areas, everyone. The Euro has also shifted a little bit to the west. Again, just minor details, just the expansion that this system is going to get. It's going to expand the wind field as it comes closer towards the shore. But when you look a closer peek at it, you can see that it's really grown throughout the day, and that's what National Hurricane Center said as well. So if you look on this area, it really grew in its thunderstorm and its moisture, and it's starting to go further towards the west, filling in that moisture. Now that's a good sign that the shear is weakening some, and it can combat whatever shear it is getting, and it's already getting 90 knots, so it's already at the maximum pretty much that you can expect on the system. So it is going to fight it. It is going over the warmer waters still and the deep ocean heat content like I showed you in the previous video, and it is going to take advantage of that and grow and intensify. Matter of fact, if you take a look at the wind field right here, this is Hurricane Erin's wind field of tropical storm force sustained winds. Now look up here. This is going to be that same wind field, and you got to picture all the thunderstorms and everything that's going to be around this thing. Now, I have some new information for you, and I have a message about what's happening for this weekend because I will not be here, but you can take a look at it now. The latest forecast has a Cat 2. It's going to intensify. Still a Cat 2. It's going to intensify. Still a Cat 2. This is National Hurricane Center's forecast all the way around Cat 2s, showing that the tropical storm force winds, sustained winds, has gotten further offshore because of the storm that was weakening, but now it's about to intensify and grow some more. I'm still showing it's going to be at the last minute. And you have tropical storm warnings still for North Carolina and a tropical storm watch going into Virginia. Latest update on these systems. And no, you are not getting this going into a hurricane into the Caribbean or the Gulf. Everybody, do not believe that, please. Matter of fact, you can see the curve going into the Atlantic. Latest from National Hurricane Center is still at 10% in the next 48 hours, maybe 60% in the next 7 days, as it eventually tries to produce something as it's getting swung around that high pressure like I showed you in this morning's video, get demolished by the trough, the dry air, and the shear, and just go away. Maybe bring some rainfall towards the Leeward Islands that we need to watch out for, and maybe some winds at the end of it, or some rainfall towards Bermuda. That would be it. This one down here on the right is at 30% in 48 hours, 30% in the next 7 days, just like I told you in this morning's video. This one's going to clear out the dust and let this one get a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. It's going to try and grow, maybe a tropical storm, maybe even all the way up towards a low-grade hurricane for a moment before that fuses out, gets dry air in it, and some upper-level low, some touch is going to give it a little shear, and it's going to go away. After that, we're still going to be on our somewhat break until we go towards the end of August, beginning of September. Then we have an outlook for the Gulf and the Western Caribbean, just like I said in this morning's video. And you can see this here. So latest update with global tropics. So all the way from the end of August to the very beginning of September, we get something going through the Eastern Pacific. We got to watch out and make sure nothing's going on with the gyre. While we get 20% chance of something on the eastern side of the MDR. It's not going to last long because of dry air. Now, as you go further along, maybe 40% chance going into the Eastern Pacific as you go through the first week up to the first 9 days of September. This is where we have all that favorable environment. Remember this. Look right here, just like I told you in the earlier video. Now it's only a 20% chance, and we've seen 20% chances grow, so we need to watch something that's going in very warm waters like this, because so far there hasn't been anything burn up any of those warm waters. They are still very hot. 20% chance of one of these waves getting pushed around that high pressure going into the Gulf. Remember this morning's video. While we have it also over here in MDR, 20% chance it could get sheared, it could get flowing further to the west. We will see. But you can see it right there. Latest on the impacts on the storm surge has raised a little bit further towards the north, where you have that 1 to 3 storm surge going across the Delmarva. So that is new. Everything else is still the same, 2 to 4, 1 to 3. The rivers has risen up a little bit. They were 1 to 2 feet. Now they're 1 to 3 feet. But you can see that's going to be from the storm surge and some overwash as well, because all the heavy rainfall is going to be in the ocean. Also, after becoming somewhat disrupted earlier today, Erin could get better organized and increasing coverage and intensity of central convection. They are going to put hurricane hunters in there in a few hours from now just to confirm the intensity of Erin. Latest projection, they have Erin turning north to northwestward heading a few hours ago. And like I said, they are going to put hurricane hunters in there in a couple of hours to a few hours. Everything else is still the same, showing after it heads northward, it's going to start going northeastward and get pulled by those westerly winds still. And you can see here also, since the shear over Erin appears to have lessened and the system will continue to traverse warm waters for the next couple of days, some re-strengthening could occur. The future intensity is dependent on whether the inner core eye wall structure becomes re-established. And with the history of this hurricane, I do not put it past it to start strengthening up again, at least to where it moves northward. Okay, it gets so big and broad, it starts upwelling the cooler temperatures once it goes past that North Carolina line. Now, pay attention to this park. You remember how I showed you Cat 2, Cat 2, Cat 2, all the way around. I'm still showing it is going to be a major hurricane. Could be a low end, but still a major hurricane. And it's going to broaden out. It's going to get really, really enormous. And it's going to have big rain bands and a bigger wind field. The future intensity is dependent on whether the inner core eye wall structure becomes re-established. The official forecast conservatively shows a slight increase in intensity similar to the model consistence, but to LGEM. This is a logistic growth equation model. This is used for forecasting tropical cyclone intensity. Now, this guidance shows a little more strengthening than that. And the intensity that they have it on is sitting right at 105, then go up just 5 miles per hour to be 110, 110, 110. This right here is not believable to me. The wind shear is going down, or is big enough and strong enough to combat the big 90 knot wind shear that it has. It's going into warmer waters, the warmest waters yet, just like I showed you earlier. Plus, it still has a little bit more deep ocean heat to get into. So this is going to intensify, and it's going to intensify rather quickly. Not like earlier. The eye isn't super small. You don't even have an inner eye yet. It is going to work on that next. As soon as it grows all that moisture and goes all the way around, or most of the way around, blocks whatever's left of the dry air, the dust, or any further shear, so that the inner core could really get its structure, it will get a smaller eye and it will go off to the races. I believe we will see a Cat 3 and not a Cat 2. And at that scenario, it would raise the increase of the storm surge, also some of the possible wave height. So you can see this when you look with the latest update with the Euro, which by the way, did shift a little more to the west, like I told you earlier. Now you can see it right now. It's getting some dry air entrainment in there. It's getting some shear as well. I don't have the left side of the system. But as we go through the evening, watch how it combats that dry air. It gets a good moisture pocket. Has a great moisture pocket. So at this point, it can start intensifying and getting that inner core eye wall. Then it strengthens and it broadens out big all the way to the last second. Now, a good thing to note is when it's moving up here on the coast, going through all that very warm water, it's going to be reaching way out here because it's going to grow and get enormous. And it's going to pull in and upwell some of that cooler water. So it's going to cause it to weaken down. Then the westerly winds is going to push it out. So now the thunderstorms is going to start getting pulled away from it. So it's going to start weakening down rather quickly, I do believe. So this is the Euro on this morning's run to 0Z. And look at the 12Z. It went further towards the west as it strengthened and grew in size, everybody. So that's why I think the wind field is going to change just a little bit more. So that's why you have that watch going all the way up towards the Delmarva, which is very smart. I think it also could be maybe even a hurricane watch right here for the tip as that goes by the Outer Banks. But showing in the latest run that it will get all the way towards you, and then it'll start peeling off towards the right. See how that got closer? So it did shift to the west. Showing in the ensembles that it could grow in size Thursday morning, By 7 o'clock, you see how it could get a little bit wider, but the consensus takes it a little bit further towards the east. So I don't see it going way far, but it could get right up towards that edge, everyone, as that comes by. Look, see how that grows and goes a little bit closer from what I can see. Showing that the sustained winds could get all the way up towards 50 and 55 sustained winds miles per hour, right along the Outer Banks. So I hope everybody is out of there. It is mandatory. Don't be silly. Get out of there. But look at the size of the wind field. Multiple states is going to feel this go by. That is a big wind field. Then you got everyone else that's right on the edge of the 50s. You see that? Even those 40s starting to spread more towards the Delmarva, more towards the southern Jersey Shore. See that? A little more impacts right there. So please stay off these beaches. It's going to be very dangerous, everybody. Showing it is going to be a close call. So when you look at the wind gusts, showing possibly getting into the 70s now, right along the coast of the Outer Banks. So it's going to be a very strong system. We got the 50s right along Jersey Shore going in across the Delmarva now. Be aware of this. Now remember, this link is in the description below, so you can zoom in and see exactly what your potential impacts could be from Hurricane Erin as it passes by. Wave height, it has gotten a little bit more of a cushion bounce again, showing you could get up to that 15 still over here towards North Carolina, but once you go a little further towards the Outer Banks, it's still going to that 20, 25, even to 30 that's going to be hitting. Now remember, once one hits, the next one's going to be coming, so it's not going to have no time to change. So please be aware of this. Stay off the beaches, everybody. Showing it's still going up towards the northeast, towards Jersey Shore, towards Delmarva. Remember, this link is in the description below. Please go use this link. Now let's move on from Hurricane Erin, because there's other things to talk about. I want to ease some more minds of what's going on with the other two systems in the MDR. I've seen people saying there's hurricanes going in the Gulf, and it's not true, everybody, at least not until September. Invest 99L in the next 5 days, showing it could take that northern track, start heading around that high pressure and go away, or it could take this southern track in 5 days and hit dry air and some touch and get shear from them and go away. Intensity guidance on Invest 99L shows it could be a strong tropical storm in the next few days. Some even take it all the way up to a low-grade hurricane. Well, the latest update shows it'll be the little engine that it could. Because if you look right here with all your moisture, you'll see right here this first wave that could try and do something. This might try and bring a tropical depression, bring some kind of rainfall towards the Leeward Islands. Right here, you got to Invest 99L trying to do something. And if it goes southern or northern, it's going to go away. And we have another one that's coming off the coast of Africa. And this one more likely will get pulled toward the north because the high pressure is going to start retracting back before we get the expansion in September. So you can see this motion. You get dry air involved in it. You get dry air entrainment going towards the core of that system. Also coming around the backside of this system. And look how both of them, as it tries to create some kind of depression, bringing some tropical moisture, goes towards the Atlantic, still around the high pressure, and they both get swallowed up with dry air and dust. Invest 99L goes away. This system right here tries to form up something out there into the Atlantic. This is why you have that 7 days, 60%. And then maybe it gets sheared and goes away after that. You can see this with the latest Euro. As Erin goes northern, the rest of those lose vorticity as it goes further towards the west. Tries to form into something over and over, heads to the north, gets pulled up, and maybe in 8 to 9 days, maybe that tropical wave will try and do something by next Wednesday, getting pulled out into the Gulf on this run. This is 8 to 9 days away, showing that getting hit with another front, maybe sheared. If it tries to form something, there could be a long wiggly line on that one potentially, while the rest of them do head north, and it just clears the whole board. It clears the whole board all the way till we get to that point in September. There is a model that is disagreeing, the GEOS satellite, showing that that wave could potentially strengthen up in the Atlantic and become a hurricane, a strong hurricane still. Now we'll see if that lets it go in updates. Latest update shows maybe in the next 5 days, that's all you get. It might get a depression, but before, it already had it a lot stronger. The Euro, don't show anything forming up afterwards. You don't see no Gulf hurricane. You don't see no big strong storm in the Atlantic. You don't see anything. Latest GFS 12Z. Don't show any storm. It let go of any kind of hurricane. You don't see anything. We're going into an unfavorable environment. Unfavorable environment all the way to the end of August. Then we have what's going on in the Western Caribbean, in the Gulf, just like I showed you on Global Tropics. Then we have October. This right here is very concerning. So thank you very much for your time, everybody. That is the latest updates. I wanted you to have the latest updates this evening of what is going on. If this does re-intensify towards a major hurricane, which I do believe it will do, and if it changes any of the trajectory or the impacts, I will get up at midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning if I have to, and make you an update video just so you can hear it first. I appreciate every single one of y'all, and I have some big news. I waited all year with my family. Y'all needed me all year. We didn't go on vacation any summer, any of that. So I'm going to take them for this weekend. These are going to weaken down what you have out there now. Erin is going to be leaving out by Thursday. Impacts will hang around by Friday because it's going to be some after effects after all this energy comes through. So I'm going to go take my family out on Friday. I will see you on Monday morning. So we'll have a video on Friday morning, but then I'll see you again on Monday morning because we need a little time away. I just wanted to let you know that. Before I go, a quick word from our Father, everybody. James 1, 5 through 8. If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask of God, that giveth to all men liberally, and upbraideth not, and it shall be given him. But let him ask in faith, nothing wavering, for he that wavereth is like a wave of the sea, driven with the wind and tossed. For let not that man think that he shall receive anything of the Lord. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Amen. When you ask of something from the Lord, believe you will get it, because you will get it. Everything is by faith. Amen. And remember, all glory does go to God, our Father in heaven, Yahweh. And I always hope he keeps you safe every single day of your life. And forever. Amen. Hallelujah. Amen. Have a great night, everybody. Be safe.